myself, but I made you the sole co-host, so now you can
Okay, yes,
mute.
thank you
You
for
can mute
reminding
and
me.
record
Yes.
now.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome. Okay, awesome.
Okay. Have a
Thank
good one.
you. Okay. So we're going to talk tonight about what that has to do or how it may be connected with autoimmune disease. And I'm so excited to be able to just share this information. I get so fascinated and infatuated with finding out all the ways that our gut health and supporting our gut health and having a really good, robust gut health regimen can help us to manage and deal with and helps us thrive in the area where sometimes it feels like there is no hope. So I'm so excited for everybody to join, and I'm so super excited about the testimony that you'll hear on this call. So as you see, we are recording, and my internet is doing a little wonky, but hopefully everything will go and be able to be recorded and shared out even after this call. So I'm going to jump in to share my screen. I think that I am going to be able to do that. And I don't want to update this now. Can y'all see my screen?
I can.
I can.
Bye. It's small, but I can see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is smaller than usual.
Okay.
It's supposed to cover the whole.
Well, let me do this. Let me start the PowerPoint, and maybe then it'll let me. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
all
there
right. So like I said, the 3 pillars of health, what Plexus stands for. What is Plexus? Let's start there. Plexus is a company of that has developed a boutique line of plant-based supplements that address gut health. What that means is by controlling or balancing out your blood sugar, decreasing toxins by having a natural way to detox, replacing good gut bacteria that we may not be getting for a myriad of reasons that we'll talk about. And then weed seed feed, what did I say? Weed seed feed, decreasing overall inflammation is how the products work. So let me go to the next slide. Hello, do you hear me? Okay. So tonight, like I said, we're talking about autoimmunity and how it's related to gut health. Some common autoimmune disorders, here's a list. And it is not all inclusive, but these are some of the more common ones that we hear most about. Type 1 diabetes, that's an endocrine deficiency in insulin and not being able to produce the body's own insulin. And that is and we'll talk about how these are all directly related to having the right mix of bacteria in your gut. Lupus, inflammatory bowel disease, like Crohn's and IBS. And a lot of times you think about gut health. When somebody says gut health, your brain or my brain did go to those chronic GI issues that people often complain about, and it makes sense, right? You have a GI in issues and inflammation, and it progresses into bowel disease. So that makes sense. But some of these other ones, the research now is showing the link, a very strong link between gut health and the microbiome, which is the bugs that live in your gut, live in on our body, and that mix, having that good to bad bacteria ratio. MS. There are now, of course, that Hippocrates told us decades and eons ago that all disease starts in the gut. And I think that modern science and just Western medicine kind of has not necessarily put that to the wayside, but it is, we have the knowledge that diet and exercise are ways that we can help to heal our bodies. Plant-based diet, all the research says, eat right and move around, and improve your health, right? I think that we've missed, and I'm so glad to now know and be sharing this information with you, that it matters what's going on in our gut, what kind of things are working against us, and what things are working for us. Also in your skin, psoriasis, eczema. We want to say, a lot of those things are external only, right? And then a lot of the treatments are topical. But let me tell you, now that we know the importance of having that mix of gut bacteria and having those bugs working for you, we are now being able to help people to get rid of, things that may have thought, like I said before, may have been like hopeless situations, or that we have accepted as our new normal. Rheumatoid arthritis, it's like, okay, everybody, some people may accept that as, oh, well, my parents had it, my mom had it, I know how to deal with it. When it rains, I do this, or when I have a flare up, I do this, or my medications help to balance it out. But if you know that it can further be supported by having that gut health regimen, then you are improving your outcomes exponentially. Sarcoidosis, Graves, Hashimoto's, Addison's disease, those are all thyroid issues, not having enough, having too many, and having an imbalance there. So those are just some of the more popular autoimmune disorders, and they are all related to the health of our gut. Again, what is autoimmunity? Diseases all share something in common, and they are triggered by attacks by the immune system against its own body. So our bodies, as you know, are very intricately designed to protect itself. That's the first line. That's the first job of our body. It is to protect itself. When there are foreign things that enter into our body, on our skin, or in different ways, our body goes into overdrive or into the inflammation response to be able to get rid of it and return to homeostasis. If your body is constantly having to stay in that inflammatory state, then your inflammation stays up. And a lot of times we may not know that we have excess inflammation because it doesn't hurt, or we can't see it. Or, I just, that's just who I am. I'm always had bad knees. I've always had, fill in the blank. So as we go on, I think the next slide does tell a little bit, come on, what causes autoimmunity or causes. So let me stop and say that I have to put the disclaimer out there, that as we talk about regimens and as we talk about Plexus products, we are supplements. As a supplement company, we cannot or do not claim to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. These are simply things that research has shown to help to heal our gut, enable our body to heal itself. When you have a genetic predisposition to an autoimmune disease, meaning it does run in your family, or there's some genetics that may dictate that you could have a high possibility of having this to happen or exacerbate. Well, if your gut is imbalanced, guess what? It's working against you and not for you. Environmental influences, what we're breathing, what we're putting on our skin, what we're eating, pesticides, toxins that we are ingesting knowingly or unknowingly, because sugar is one of the ones we don't want to admit, right? That it is definitely something we ingest that's working against us if it is in excess. And an imbalanced microbiome, and what we have known or heard more of lately is leaky gut. Imbalanced microbiome, I talked about the microbiome. That's the microbiome, are the composition of bacteria, fungus, in our gut, in our microbiome, in our body. It living on it or inside. The gut is our largest microbiome. And if you have too much of the bad stuff like candida or fungus, then that is what's taking over and causing an imbalance. Not enough good bacteria or what we call probiotics that are working against us, then of course that balance is off. So it is an intricate balance. And what happens when you consistently have too much bad bacteria and not enough good bacteria? It could leak out. So our, oh, sorry. I already went to Shauna. Let's see. Leaky gut. Let me go to, what time is it? Leaky gut. So we have actually, Shauna was up. Let's see. Shauna, I'm gonna call on you. And not to put you on the spot, but I always love to hear your testimony. And so I'm gonna stop talking for a minute and let you go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As Rachel said, I am Shauna Mead, and there's my beautiful family. I am an autoimmune disease chick. And you know, I am proud to say that I am managing my disease very well. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It is something that I had never heard of before until I was admitted into the emergency room, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was extremely sick. I had lost a tremendous amount of weight, and I pretty much, my joints and everything, I just could not move. I was just literally just kind of laying in the bed, and you know, doctors are coming in and checking, and finally after doing so many different scans, then they came back and shared that from the biopsy that's what they found. Well, you know, of course that, you know, puts you into just like a different space altogether. Now, not only do you not feel well, but you know, you kind of sink into a bit of depression. I'm a mom of 5. Thank you. I have a mom of 5, and I'm an educator. So, you know, life for me is like super, super busy. And at that time, I couldn't do anything for anybody, nor could I do anything for myself. So when I was released from the hospital, I came home and I became even sicker than I was when I was in the hospital. So, you know, I just felt like, okay, as I'm taking all the medications, you know, you take one medication for this, and then you have to take another medication to combat the side effects of the medication that you're on. So every time I go to the doctor, they ask me, how do you feel? Oh, I don't feel well. Well, let's try this, or let's try that. Or did we look at this? Did we up the dosage on this? So, you know, I'm just kind of agreeing. I'm still taking all the meds, but I still did not feel well, you know, and I was still sharing this, but I was open to trying whatever at this point, because I had a life to live, but mentally, I didn't even want to live that life, you know. So in the process of taking everything, now sarcoidosis, it falls in the family of kind of in the lupus family. So you have a lot of joint muscle pain. It also, you know, in that diabetes family, they're all linked together. I did not know that it lies in your gut. I didn't even know, because my oldest daughter was diagnosed as type 1, and then my other children were like borderline. So I, you know, now know that it was me and that I was carrying it around, but I was unaware of all of these things. So, you know, I was just at a point to where, yes, I was going to continue to take a heaping dose of meds, but, you know, I knew something else had to happen. Well, in walks, you know, my beautiful sister, Rachel. And, you know, I have to be honest with you. When she first shared plexus, I was like, okay, what could a supplement do? What could a supplement do that I just felt like all the amount of medications wasn't doing for me? So I wasn't really eager. I wasn't open to it, although she's always been my resident pharmacist on, walking me through the process of everything that I was dealing with. I wasn't open to trying something else. So I avoided it. I probably ignored her. But I appreciate her persistence because she knew what it was doing for her and she just wanted to share, and so from her sharing, I finally decided to give it a try. And I started off with triplex. Well, I actually started off because she sent me a long time ago, like right before the pandemic hit, it's the 3-day, it was the 3-day challenge. She sent that first. So that was in a box sitting to the side. I first tried that. I have to say, there would be days where I did not want to get out of my bed. I struggled mentally because I couldn't get out of my headspace of where I was with my health. And then I struggled physically. Just with trying the slim and trying all the other supplements that came within that 3-day challenge, I noticed a different kind of oomph in my body, an oomph that I didn't really have. So I was like, okay, I haven't changed anything else. You know how you always try to figure out, well, what was different? The only thing that was different was me trying plexus. And, I didn't know the history of it. I honestly, y'all, didn't even know what I was taking. I was like, okay, I'm just going to try it. So from that, I started on the triplex. I started on the triplex system, and this was a time, and y'all know, when the pandemic first hit, we were out there, we were at home, we were just eating and baking and cooking and just doing whatever we needed to do in order to stay sane. So as I was working with the triplex and working on my body, I said, okay, there were days where I actually wanted to physically go walking. I never wanted to do that before, nor did I have the energy, nor did my body felt like it could take just a simple walk. So I started walking. I started, being more pleasant to my family because I was extremely annoyed. I love my children and my husband to death, but I was extremely annoyed by being locked down with them for so long, every single day. So they even noticed the change in how I would react towards them and how I was treating them. And all of this came from me just trying some plant-based supplements. My doctors from the beginning encouraged me to go plant-based. My thought was absolutely not, because, I like a good piece of meat and I wasn't going to stop it. I did introduce more vegetables, but never did I think about going with a plant-based supplement. So as I started cleaning my gut out, I felt like I needed to add more. I wanted to see what else was out there. So I suffer from neuropathy. And when I was first diagnosed, y'all, the neuropathy would be in my face, the left side of my body. When my left side of my body initially was paralyzed from Bell's palsy, and I would have neuropathy in my feet. It would be in the joints in my knees. Now, there were times where I would dread when my husband would kiss me on my forehead because my face tingled so bad. So I would cringe when he would just lean in for a kiss. But now, I've been on plexus for a while. I've been on plexus for a long, well, I would say I'm going into almost into maybe I'm past my second year, but it's been a commitment. And from that commitment, I have decreased the amount of medications that I've taken. And that's only because my body is making a change. My body is starting to feel better. mentally I'm just in a better space. So my medications decreased because I could take up to in one day out of the week, like 20 plus of just different pills. One particular pill is a light dose of chemo pill, so it was just, and of course, if you don't know, with autoimmune, it's just all to control. It's to control, your body is pretty much just like going crazy. And so they have to suppress the craziness. I've also just made it a pledge to do better with the way that I eat. I crave more salads. It's late. My husband just texted me and he's like, what would you like to eat? We're just making it home, trying to wrap up the school day. And I want a salad. I didn't have those type of cravings like that before. I mean, there are some healthy people out there, but who just craves greens, and I also watched what, I manage my exercise. So my goal is to one day be like Rachel and maybe run a marathon. But, I've downloaded my app and I'm doing a little exercise day by day. So my regimen, and I'll turn it back over to Rachel, is triplex. I do MetaBurn for weight loss because the large amount of steroids that I was on packed on the weight. I am slim, active, I hydrate because I'm trying for that marathon. So the working out is replenishing all the electrolytes and all that stuff that I need. Yes, a half one, not the full. Let's go with the half marathon. Let's be clear on that. And then anything that comes out, I just want to try because I see the difference that it makes, that it helps with my body. So, I just keep adding. Vital Biome is my number one. It keeps me mentally sane. It helps me battle through the day in a happier type state. So I am just thankful to know that probiotics and a plant-based probiotic and supplement can be so life-changing. It has been for me, and I'm not turning back, and I'm looking forward to continuing with that commitment.
Yes, Shauna. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I love it. I can hear it in your voice. I see it in your smile, and I see it come through in your interactions every day on social and in person. And I'm so excited to be here for it all. So thank you so much for sharing with us. We do love and appreciate you. Okay, Miss Debbie. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm going to let you take it away because we must hear from you. Thank you for agreeing to share.
I'm Deborah Walker. You can call me Debbie. Mama Glow, she and I go way back. I used to do Mary Kay with her. My battle I've been dealing with this for about 20 years. It started with, I'm freezing, ain't I? It started with spinal stenosis. My sciatic
No,
nerve.
you're not freezing, Debbie. You're good.
Oh, my sciatic nerve went out. One day I was getting ready to go to Bible study to sing, and I was in the closet and my right side completely went totally out like a rag doll, like muscle spasms went through the whole leg. Totally hit the ground. My husband rushed me to the hospital, and the doctor there said, you have sciatic nerve issues. And she said, you have the worst case I've ever seen. She said she had the same problems, but she said, there's nothing they could really do for me. So they gave me some steroid injections, and I still couldn't walk till the next day. So this went on for some years and years. I could be talking to you and all of a sudden would fall. So they just said it was spinal stenosis. Come to find out my mother had it, and I didn't even know she had it. She didn't tell me till after I started relaying all my problems. So I also worked at the sheriff department. So one year I fell downstairs. My leg went out, so I went down the stairs. So I had spinal stenosis in the neck. So I've had surgery in the neck. I've had cervical spine surgery in the neck. I have 8 screws and a plate in my neck. So all the doctors just thought it was spinal stenosis. So then after I had this surgery in 2017, an older doctor told me, he seen my MRI, he said, has anyone ever told you you have the beginning stage of MS? And I said, no, because I was going to different surgeons searching to see if someone would help me. Because I was using at one point I wasn't using the cane. I'm using the cane now, but I was in so much pain, I needed help. So no surgeon would touch my back. And that's why I found out why they wouldn't touch my back. I got lesions on my back. And so no one never told me. And the doctor who did this, he still didn't tell me. He told me I didn't have the beginning stage of MS. So he went on, did the surgery. Then in 2019, I was actually getting worse. In 2019, I went to a neurologist and asked him, will you please do an MRI on my brain? I said, I have every symptom of MS. And MS and spinal stenosis are they have the same symptoms. They affect the nerves, they affect the muscles. So he did an MRI. He said, you're exactly right. You have MS. He said, but the bad thing with you have both. You have spinal stenosis and MS. So it did affect my eyes. I have glaucoma too, but I did pray about asking God to help me, give me something natural, because I do realize everything God made is good, and he always made something to help heal our bodies. Our bodies were created to heal themselves, but I was a junkaholic. I ate so much junk. Back then I was in gymnastics, I was a cheerleader, you name it, I did it. And I was tiny and cute, thought I would never gain weight. So I ate what I wanted to eat. So I didn't really find out a lot about my background till my mom started telling me she has spinal stenosis. I was like, oh my God. So my other sister has MS as well, but she found out before I found out that she had MS. So, and they said it can be hereditary. So I started really praying and crying out to God, asking him for some help, because I wasn't sleeping at night. The nerves in my body, they jumped all night long. The tingling, I can understand Shauna, because the tingling in my feet, my legs were horrible. I mean, I would cry all the time. I would ask God for help. I was still trying to sing praise and worship. They would have to help me on the stage. There would be days I would just say, I went on leave for 3 months. Just stayed at home from my job. Also, I don't work at forensic anymore at the jail. They transferred me to our main building. I work for the Harris Center, but they transferred me because I kept falling. And they kept rushing me to the hospital, and there was nothing any doctor would do. So when I found out I had MS and the doctor said there's nothing they can really do for me, I was like, I prayed. I said, Lord, you made my body, you know all about me. And he said he would perfect the things that concern me. So me praying for an answer, then Gloria comes back into my life. We hadn't talked, oh my God, in some years, and we love each other, but you know how you have close friends, but you just haven't connected in a long time. So right after I prayed and asked God to give me something natural, here she comes. And she introduced me to Plexus. And because I trust her and I know her and I know God, I was able to respond soon as she introduced it to me. And right away, I was able to get a couple of people from my church and my sister to join me immediately because they trusted me. So I've been on the journey for a year. Yeah, a year. Right away, the X Factor Plus started helping me because I was having sinus infection every single month. It had got so bad, my doctor wouldn't even give me any more antibiotics. And then it come to find out that antibiotics can actually cause these problems if you're taking too many. So I was taking them constantly. And I kept wondering why she refusing to give me any antibiotics. So when I looked up MS, I found out. Well, also, my neurologist ended up he tried all these different MS medicines, Respidol, all kinds of stuff. Nothing was working. I had to give myself injections. That made my whole nervous system just go into shock. I just couldn't do it. So I told him, you're gonna have to find me something else. When I looked on TV and seen Ocrevus, the twice a year infusion treatments, I said, let me try that. So he said, okay. So we tried that. One day I was sitting in the hospital getting ready for my infusion treatment. And I said, Lord, show me where MS came from. He showed me the gut. I pulled it up. I said, look at God. I said, oh my God. I said, you are so amazing. Sure. I mean, it's just that you got to know your own body. You got to know him, because he'll talk to you. He'll show you things. And I was at a stage where I'm like, you know, you created me for greatness. You created me to survive, not just survive, but I know I was created for greatness. I know I was created to lead. And it's like, I can't do anything in a body that's not functioning. And I mean, I loved praise and worship, loved it. And I was like, that was my passion. I was like, Lord, I need healing. I ain't ready to give up. So when he starts showing me things, I'm like, okay, Lord, I know I put all this junk in my body. And, you know, we always do stuff. And then we think we want to try stuff and we want it to work overnight. That's not what this is about. Plexus is a plant-based that helps you correct the mistakes, all the junk I put in my body. And I was one of them people that I was like, look, Lord, I know you're able to do anything but fail. But I know I'm not flaky. I know that I have to do my part. And that's how I felt, because people were like, well, you know, people knew I was on Plexus. I was like, look, I'm getting better every day. And by the stripes of Jesus, I am healed. And I see the improvements in my body. Well, it was X Factor Plus was helping my sinus infections. Praise God, Lord, because I was in pain every single month. When Immune Plus came out, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. They made that for me. And then the nerve, Shauna, actually, you were the one who got me to try the nerve. I was already trying to ease. But when I listened to your testimony, I said, let me put the nerve with it, because I listened to you one time and I really appreciate that. You blessed me so. And so I added the nerve to it. And I got a better result. And I was like, praise God. I started sleeping at night. My mother is now on both of them. I'm like, oh my God, my sister's on them because she has spinal stenosis too. And I'm like, okay. But through all this, it's several things I want to say. But through all this, going from surgeon to surgeon, and the Holy Spirit telling me, I'm gonna complete this healing, because no doctor could help me. So my last MRI I was telling Rachel and Erica and Gloria, my last MRI I had, which was a month and a half ago, it was a praise the Lord. I didn't have any new active lesions on my brain. No new ones, none. So which means I'm not getting worse. They can't do anything about the lesions there, but I'm not progressing to worse, which means that what I'm doing is great. My doctor says, he said, you keep doing what you're doing. He told me to keep using the Plexus. My infusion treatments are helping, but I have 3 different doctors. All 3 of them told me that Plexus, the plant-based, was the best for my condition. They told me, keep using it. I have had people on my team tell me, well, my doctor said I can't use this product. And I said, well, you know, get a second opinion or whatever. But I have 3 wonderful doctors and they've all said the same thing. Plant-based are the most amazing products for your body. Another thing I love about plant-based products, they don't interfere with any other medicines. There are no side effects. I hate side effects. One surgeon put me on a bunch of stuff for MS for the nerves. And when I tell you that I threw that stuff in the trash because I don't like side effects. Now, although Ocrevus does have some side effects. So my sister in Indianapolis, she has MS, but she refused to take Ocrevus. I told her, girl, I'm praying about this and I'm gonna believe God, I'm not gonna get the side effects. And the side effects are brain damage and all that. Well, I've been really blessed, and I know it's because I do take Plexus. I take quite a bit of the products. I'm the type of person, I figure out what works best for my body. And I do a lot of research on what's going on with me. And then I do pray about a lot of things that, I mean, I'm one of them people, I'm going to study my body because you know you better than anybody else. So I just thank God for a great report on my MRI. And I know that greater is coming with my health. I still walk with a cane, but I'm rebuilding my muscles and I am getting stronger. And I do realize that your mental state has a lot to do with any condition. So I'll be honest with you. If I didn't know Jesus, I'm serious. If I didn't know Christ, I mean, really know him, I'd probably be a basket case. Like Shauna said, it messes with your mental state big time. On my job, oh my God. I mean, I've been blessed that I haven't been let go because of my condition. It's been really a blessing, but I know that all things are working together for my good. And I know that God has great things in store. And I wanted to say, this community of women, I love you guys. I don't say a lot, but I really love you guys. I listen a lot. I love the product calls. I have learned so much about the products, and I'm always taking notes, but I found out more about BioCleanse, and I've been taking the more and more every single day in my Immune Plus. And I know this don't sound good, but I'm having a bowel movement every day now, several times, and I never had bowel movements like this. Never. I was always blocked up, always terrible headaches. I mean, from the time I was little, I had terrible headaches. But I mean, I'm thankful for Plexus, and I love the power of three. I love what Plexus stands for. I love the fact that it's a community that work together, and we support each other. And it's not about no big eye, no little eye. It's all about building each other up. I love that. So
Yes, Miss Debbie.
I'm through. I know.
Oh no, we can go all night with you. I love to hear your praise reports, and I love your positivity, and I just love being on this journey with you. I can't say that enough. Thank you for heeding the call, and thank you for not allowing yourself to accept less than what you've been promised. And so you're a living example of what that means. And Plexus is one avenue to be able to that we can use to help others see that for themselves. So thank you for that. Miss Debbie and Shauna both gave us a lot of information. So I'm going to try to drill it down very quickly and say why when all the medications weren't seeming to really address the issue, why would we even be talking about a plant-based option? Let's talk about that. So earlier tonight, I'm going to share my screen again. I talked about share. These are the different types of immunity, but I talked about leaky gut. And the things that may cause a leaky gut or cause you to have what is the leaky gut syndrome? Stress, toxins, food particles, drugs, prescription drugs or otherwise, pathogens, bad bacteria, viruses, things like that, and organ malfunction. So those are some of the things that can aggravate or start down the road of a leaky gut. In response to those stimuli, your inflammation processes or your GI sets into motion that protective feature that we talked about. We know our body is going to protect itself at any cost. With constant attack of those different stresses, toxins, and different food, sugar, all of that, that inflammation may cause your lining of your gut to quote unquote leak, because it's supposed to be tight, like vault tight. And when it's compromised, then things can leak out into your system. It may show up as food intolerance, immune system issues, and then ultimately can progress to autoimmunity. So it is our bodies trying to get over whatever it is that's affecting us, and it's our job. And a lot of times it's in overdrive. So when you heard Shauna and Miss Debbie talk about my nerves were just it's you know, some of that same thing. It's like our body's trying to protect itself and it's trying to correct, but there's so many reasons why it can't, and that could be just a progression of being unstable in your gut or of leaky gut syndrome. Am I saying that leaky gut causes these diseases? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when your gut is imbalanced and it goes unaddressed and you don't have a regimen to draw it back in, decrease that inflammation, that leaky gut can happen. And those toxins, if they're not addressed, can progress to autoimmune issues. And it shows up in different areas of the body. We talked about a lot of this. It affects the whole body, as you can see. So some people are affected more on their skin with the eczema, psoriasis, some people more in their lungs, some people more thyroid, brain. It has all kinds of ways that it shows up in different people. And it has a lot to do with your genetics, your predisposition, and what stressors are, or what external stresses are your body, or attacking your body, or influencing your body. We had testimony. So before plexus, I like to paint this picture. This is your gut, the top pool before plexus. Okay, it can be our we're walking around with a lot of instability, a lot of dirt, a lot of junk, and on the outside it might look like, oh, everything is good, you don't look sick, but on the inside it could be like the top pool. So what happens when you implement a triplex regimen, which you heard Shauna and Miss Debbie say they started on triplex. Triplex are 3 products that have been uniquely designed to work together to weed, like get out the bad stuff, seed, put in the good stuff, feed the good stuff, and then protect your gut lining. So essentially, Plexus Triplex will help to cure leaky gut. So we can say, because your gut can be cured, to help your body cure itself. So this is how and why Triplex and Plexus is very important in a sustainable gut health regimen. So Triplex, what is Triplex? Triplex are 3 ingredients or 3 products that work together. So Slim is our pink drink. It is highly anti-inflammatory because of the beetroot extract. Beetroot is a natural anti-inflammatory, and when taken consistently can decrease your overall inflammation. Slim also has chromium. Chromium is responsible for helping with healthy glucose metabolism. Why is that important? Keeping your blood sugars in a healthy range throughout the day is important to help keep that inflammation at bay, and for all of the processes that are involved in inflammation as well. So when you keep your blood sugars in a healthy range, you can see your hormones balance out. On a consistent basis, you can see a lot, because insulin is your master hormone. So when insulin is spiking and dipping and all over the place, then your hormones follow right behind all of the rest of them. So chromium, having that blood sugar balance throughout the day, helps to control cravings. It helps to keep your mood intact. And so that's why your energy is better with consistent use of Slim. Slim also has fiber, prebiotic fiber. So prebiotics are the food for probiotics. So if you're replacing the probiotics, but you're not feeding them, you're not maximizing the benefits. So prebiotics are very important. We have 2 types of Slim, which have 2 different prebiotic fibers. The longer, or the hunger control Slim, is bulk forming, so it helps you feel fuller, so that helps with weight management. But if somebody doesn't have weight loss as a health goal, then they would use microbiome activating Slim, which is a prebiotic that's not bulk forming, but it does feed your good gut bacteria. So we do have 2 different options, and that's the difference. Slim also has ALA, which is alpha lipoic acid, which helps to get rid of bad cells and substantiate good cells, like, and it also helps with cholesterol, balancing out that. And I'm thinking I'm missing something: prebiotic fibers, beetroot extracts. There are, sweetened with stevia. So it's very important to have natural sweeteners, and because artificial sweeteners, I did not know, but I have to tell everybody now that I do, kill your good gut bacteria. And a lot of times we think, oh, well, it's better to control the calories, not have regular sugar. But I didn't know all this time by making that switch, you're killing your good gut bacteria, which is really throwing your balance off. So just keep that in mind. Any supplement that you're taking, especially on a daily basis for consistency, needs to have a very natural sweetener like monk fruit, stevia, and all of our products do. We don't have any artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners. So that is Slim. That's the pink drink. The second product in the triplex is ProBio 5. ProBio 5 is our probiotic, our stellar probiotic. Not all probiotics are created equal. And I did not know that until I got to Plexus. And that's with all of my years of schooling in pharmacy and biomedical science. I thought it was probiotic was a probiotic, and you took it if you had traveler's diarrhea, or if you took it if you had an antibiotic, and it just helps to combat the diarrhea. Now I know the benefit of having probiotics is responsible for a lot, keeping that inflammation at bay. Ours is freeze dried, so it actually gets to the site of action, so it doesn't need to be refrigerated. And those, by the way, are typically unstable because you cannot control the environment as diligently as you would need to for those refrigerated probiotics to stay active. So this is freeze dried, so it actually gets to the site of action. It has an antifungal probiotic strain, which means it's helping to get rid of the bad bacteria, because candida yeast does not go away lightly, right? It goes kicking it kicking and screaming. It wants to stay around, and it craves sugar. And so you think, oh, I have a sweet tooth. Oh, I have to have this. Oh, I have to drink a Route 44 every day, or iced tea, or fill in the blank, Starbucks. But that could be your bad bacteria craving to be fed. So when you have that antifungal component, it's helping to beat down that bad bacteria as well as the digestive enzymes. And so that's what makes this a superior probiotic, right? And that's what makes it better than anything you can get over the counter or otherwise, really. So ProBio 5. BioCleanse is our natural detox. It is magnesium with vitamin C and bioflavonoids, and that just helps the magnesium be absorbed. So what I like to say is that ProBio 5 is getting in and scrubbing the toilet, scrubbing around that pool we just saw. And then the BioCleanse is helping to come in and helping your body naturally eliminate it. We should be eliminating after every meal. I thought, and along with a lot of people, that, oh, I go once a day, I'm regular. Well, that's because I was comparing it to people who go 2 or 3 days or even more without eliminating, because it's inconvenient. It's just how they are. They've been told, that's just your normal. So I'm so excited to know that our bodies can have a natural way to detox. It's not a laxative. Because chronic use of laxatives is, I warn you against that, because then your body can become dependent on those, and it's not a natural way to eliminate. And so that's why BioCleanse is stellar. Magnesium deficiency shows up in a lot of ways: migraine headaches, muscle spasms, muscle weakness, cramping, just to name a few. Irregular heartbeat. And so a lot of times if your labs come back and they're okay, it could still be that, you don't have something that will flag on the blood work, but if you could have a more consistent way of getting magnesium or filling in that magnesium deficiency, then you're improving your overall health. So that is why these 3 products really work together to help to keep that inflammation at bay and heal leaky gut, and help people who are dealing with chronic conditions that may not be all the way over to plant-based, and even some that are plant-based have problems filling in those nutritional gaps because you have to have the variety and you have to have the right amount of prebiotics, probiotics, and this just takes the guesswork out of, oh, am I achieving that goal? Right? For me, it was the bridge that is taking me over to a healthier eating lifestyle. Am I plant-based 100%? No. Do I value going in that direction? Absolutely. And when you do help your body unleash its healing ability. So these are some ways that you can get started. Please contact the person who invited you. We do have some great benefits of becoming a wholesale customer. These are some of the few on the screen. You get a deep discount as a wholesale customer. Right now, the annual enrollment fee is $9.95, which is normally $39.95, which is still a steal because it works like Costco or Sam's Club, where every year you pay a set amount to be able to continue to get the discount. You do get a referral bonuses if you let's see, what is this saying? If you have friends to join. So like you heard Shauna say that, I invited her to learn about the products. You heard Miss Debbie say that she told her sister, and I'm sure in your mind, you're thinking, yes, I need this, but so does fill in the blank, your friend, your coworker, your sister, your mom, your dad, your spouse. So enjoying the benefits of having a wholesale account also unlocks your ability to earn referral bonuses and refer people and get generously compensated. You do have a 25% discount for the entire year as a wholesale customer. So please get with the person who invited you, because as a wholesale customer, there is an additional discount that we can apply to your order that will save you an additional 10% in addition to the welcome pack pricing. So don't delay. Make sure that you get with the person who invited you. And so I'm going to stop sharing and entertain any questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. While you're doing that, we do have, Plexus is so great and so integrous that we have a 60-day money back guarantee. When you are feeding, weeding, and seeding your gut, it takes a consistency of about 2 to 3 months to start seeing the maximum benefits. Yes, you'll see the energy right away. You'll think, oh, am I feeling a little better? I don't know. Let me keep going and see. And then as you are consistent, then you start looking, oh, well, I didn't know that. Well, my truth was I didn't know I felt bad. Because I spent a lot of time defending what was normal to me, which was a lot of infections, a lot of fungal infections, and just being chronically tired and inflamed in my joints and things like that. But I'm like, oh, well, I'm over 40. Oh, well, I'm stressed. Oh, well, all these reasons, right? So we fill in the blank, and I was defending my mediocrity. And now that I know that I can feel better, then I was looking for other things, like Shauna said, oh, what else can I take? So we didn't go over everything. And especially when you're looking at autoimmunity and improving your quality of life, there are like products like Ease and Nerve that Miss Debbie and Shauna talked about. There's also Vital Biome, which are probiotics that support mental health, mood, and stress. I didn't understand that. Now that we know there are specific strains of probiotics that help support that, because 70% of our mood boosting hormones are manufactured in our gut. And so I will leave you guys with this. A lot of my training in Western medicine and as a pharmacist, we are trained as a disease state management to understand what medications you use for what. And so I had to totally, and I'm so glad to know this, I had to totally revamp being focused on symptom relief. And now I'm switched to being able to unleash like overall wellness by supporting what's going on in the gut. So I'm going to stop there. I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see anybody come unmuted. So I'm going to end and encourage you guys to come on this journey with us. Take a chance on yourself. I know we spend a lot of money on things that are on the external. But boy, what happens when we commit to ourselves and working on the inside out? So thank you guys for joining us tonight, and y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Rachel.
Yay. Yes. Thank you, Shauna and Miss Debbie, for always heeding the call and just being ready to share and help other people. So I appreciate it so much. Our team is so phenomenal.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.